Hi. Hi. Good girl. Good girl. Someone is fast asleep. Happy thanks. Ooh, it kind of looks like I have an Adam's apple. Cool. My room is a junkyard. So my room is a junkyard. It's about 2 p.m.-ish. I got home for Thanksgiving break last night. And I'm home. I've been thinking lately about how little what other people do has to do with us. Like, I've been thinking about how often we read into things that don't really mean anything. And I know I talk about social media a lot, but I do feel like the constant accessibility that we have to other people can make us read a lot into actions that don't actually mean anything. I think about being younger, and I think about when I would have crushes on people, and I would think so much about things like how long it took them to respond to me, or if they left me on read or unopened or something, or if it, you know, or if their responses was short or something. And I think that's an issue that a lot of us really have dealt with at one point or another. For a lot of us, you probably still are dealing with it, because it's hard in the digital age to recognize that everything that someone does doesn't always mean something. And I thought about this recently because I went through a phase where I was so busy that I was just not able to respond to like anything in a reasonable time, and so it would take me a really long time to get back to people. And it made me realize that I kind of always thought when someone was like, oh, I've been super busy, or like I saw this and I forgot to respond, I thought those were things that we all say as like excuses. It made me realize that I've kind of written off stuff like that as like excuses, like probably not true, until it was me who was in that position. Then I was like, oh my god, like this says nothing about how I feel about these people. It says nothing about how interested I am in them, or how invested I am in our friendship, or how much I care about them, or anything like that. Like, sometimes things just take a minute. And I've noticed a lot since taking a bigger step away from social media. Like, it just feels so good to have, it feels like you have space. When you're not on social media, it feels like you're able to be more comfortably yourself, and things feel slower, and you're maybe only communicating on text, so you're not seeing things like what posts people have liked, or if they viewed your story, or any of these things that we can, when we're wrapped up in social media, we can assign a lot of value to things that really don't mean anything. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've like posted something on Instagram and haven't responded to someone's text yet, or watched someone's story but haven't responded to their text yet, or something like that. And for me, it never means anything. It's never like a slight to them, but I think about how I've been on the other side of that sometimes. And when I was younger and like less mature, that would make me feel really bad. Like, I don't know if I haven't had Snapchat in years, but I remember like you could see who someone's best friends were on Snapchat, or you could see like, okay, or you could see like if someone's Snap score was like going up, and then it meant that they were like responding to other people but not responding to you. And I'm like, oh my god, that is so unhealthy to give kids that level of access to information about another person's whereabouts. And I never had the location thing on, where you, Snap Maps, that's what it's called. But I know that people, like I remember seeing memes about like, oh my god, like this person is there, like these people are hanging out, and they told me that they weren't, or like something like that. And I just think that that level of accessibility taps into a level of insecurity that a lot of us already have, and it gives us information that we can use to reinforce that insecurity. Because I've also been thinking about rejection. So I've been off Instagram mostly. Sometimes I'll go on and like post something, but largely I don't really use it anymore nearly as much as I used to. Since going back on after being deactivated for a while, I like immediately felt worse about myself. Like, I'd go on there and see someone who was so beautiful, or whose life seemed so much better than mine. And just the level of information, like the amount of information coming at you about so many things all at once, it feels terrible. And so like immediately after being on it, I was like, I feel worse. And it can tap into like the rejection sort of feeling that you have, because I've been thinking, and I'm talking about rejection with my friends, like as we all go through like dating and life and trying to find jobs and internships and all that, like rejection is just a huge part of life. And it's something that I feel like we don't talk about a whole lot, but like we've all been rejected at one point or another. And sometimes I've thought someone is really cool. I'm like, I can't imagine anyone ever rejecting them or like treating them poorly. But like everyone has a story, at least one, of a time that like someone has treated them like shit, or a time that they got rejected. And I just think about like how when you get rejected, like it taps into a part of you that is already insecure, and just like the information that we get on social media that we shouldn't have access to, in my opinion, when we get rejected, it just amplifies what we already believe to be wrong about ourselves. I think that's what it is. And that's what makes it so hard, is that it's hard not to assign meaning to something. Like say 2 of your friends are hanging out without you. It feels horrible, and you're like, they hate me, they think I am stupid, they don't like hanging out with me, they think I'm annoying, like all that. When really it might have been that like they ran into each other and were like, hey, what are you doing right now? Like, do you want to go get a coffee or something like that? Like, you never know. Like, maybe they do think you're annoying, maybe they do hate you, whatever, but like chances are not that much thought went into it, and the thought that did go into it wasn't a diss about you. Like, I think it's so easy to assume things are about us when they just might not be. And I feel like these are realizations that I've had like in recent months. Like, I'm 22 right now, and I just think about how much, first of all, I still really struggle with rejection. Like, if I like someone and they like ghost me, or they like unfollow me on Instagram or something like that, like that still hurts. And I kind of think it hurts like no matter how old you are, how mature you are, because it just taps in a little bit to that feeling that you already have, which is like you're not good enough for this reason or that reason or that one. Like, it's so silly, but we all deal with it. I think a big part of maturing is, and I think a big part of not being as affected by little things like that, because we're all gonna get rejected. We're all gonna not get a job that we wanted. We're all gonna like not get into our dream school, or have like someone who has a crush on someone who isn't us, or something like that. Like, it just is inevitable. But how do we go through life knowing that those things are going to happen at some point, and not have it completely throw us off track, like, and not have it completely ruin us and have us having a breakdown because someone like ended things with us, or because our friends were hanging out without us, or because we didn't get invited to this party or whatever. And I think a huge part of it is realizing that like 9 times out of 10, maybe even more than that, maybe even 9.5 times out of 10, it kind of has nothing to do with you. You know what I mean? Like I think a huge part of maturing is just realizing that like not everything means everything, not everything's about you, and people are probably not thinking about you as much as you think they're thinking about you. You know what I mean? Like, there's a sort of self-centeredness that comes with being super self-deprecating, or having really low self-esteem, because you're like, everyone thinks I'm so annoying and stupid, and everyone thinks I'm ugly and all this stuff. And it's like, honestly, people are probably not thinking about you that much. People are probably not thinking about you enough to be like, yeah, she looks really ugly today, because they're probably thinking about themselves and the issues that are going on in their life. But we sort of can have this like amplified sense of self-importance, and I think it's huge to just take a step back and be like, it really doesn't matter that much. So I guess this is a bit of a ramble today, and the lighting is bad too, and my hair is greasy, and okay, see, now I'm being self-deprecating. Now I'm being like, oh, I'm so ugly, blah, blah, blah. No one's thinking about it. No one is probably watching this and thinking, wow, she looks kind of busted right now. Ew, okay, now people might be thinking about my hair a little bit if I do, if I do it like that. But yeah, these are just some Wednesday thoughts for you, even though it'll be a Sunday when I upload this, and it might be a Tuesday when you watch it, you know? But yeah, I'm home. This is what I'm thinking about. Thank you for watching.